All right, JJ, do you want to go or do you want me to
Yeah,
go?
because there's not a lot of meat on the bones for this game to really talk about,
Okay.
but there's it's got just enough content to like make a nice
Got it.
thing for it here. But
All right, I'm gonna hit the add to stream then.
yeah. This is just you don't. I'm not going to go through it right away, but this has a very specific.
Oh man,
it's professional wrestling, baby. The one topic I know how to talk about more, just as much as comic books.
well, I mean, what better overlap could there be other than professional wrestling and Neo Geo?
NEO GEO Pocket Color. Yeah, this is part of their new like second wave of NEO GEO Pocket classics. I reviewed all of them previously. They put out a big bundle of all of them. I just got the shipping confirmation for my limited run physical edition of NEO GEO Pocket Color Classics. So there we go. Yeah, this is one that I have never played before.
Well, it's got to be one of the few.
Yeah, and which is wild because it is professional wrestling, but it didn't come out in North America. So.
Oh, okay.
So, and what's this game called?
Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
Awesome. Big Bang Pro
Wrestling. So what wrestlers were featured in it?
The Big Bang ones.
This slideshow is going to go through all of it because they are all generic.
Okay.
But they're clearly based on wrestlers, and that's what the slideshow is.
Gotcha. Wrestlers such as Brian.
Yeah, Brian. So
Brian's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, here's it. So Brian is very clearly just the tough, gruff, mean guy that's like the powerhouse. So he's definitely Bill Goldberg.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
That's clearly what his concept behind him is. You have David, big fat guy that can't climb the turnbuckle. He's very clearly a bit of Big Van Vader and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just look kind of
love it. Rest in peace.
This is 1999, so a lot of these wrestlers were still kind of vaguely active.
We're alive.
Yeah. We're alive, yeah. Next, you have Alex.
Okay.
This one's pretty obvious just by looking at him, what Alex's whole deal is. He's just The Rock, but a white guy.
Got it.
I mean,
he has a little bit of edge to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
You have Beats. He's a pasty gray man, so obviously that just kind of shambles around. So that's clearly the Undertaker.
Okay.
You have Eagle. Eagle is obviously just from King of Fighters. It's actually not a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought you were gonna say it's.
Yeah. You have Show. Again, it's just Joe from King of Fighters. You have Mike here.
Oh, okay. I know who this is gonna be.
Do you? Who's it gonna be, Dally?
Iron.
Guess
Sheik?
it.
What?
Iron Sheik?
No, absolutely not. It's actually just Kurt Angle with Goldberg and Stone Cold.
Way off.
He's a wrestler.
Nice try.
Yeah, it's T-Zock. I forgot to say his name. And this guy, Macy, has kind of an offensive name in like the Japanese one. It's like the Oriental or something. Like, let's not do that. So it's Macy here in English, and it's a Japanese wrestler known as the Great Kabuki.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I see it. All right.
Mm-hmm. This wrestler did. This is the end of this slideshow. Kill it. But so the Great Kabuki did like a green mist, like the Great Muta used to do, but his move set is designed off of. There's also like hidden wrestlers and stuff. There's a hidden female wrestler that's also a manager that unlocks after your save has been in use for a month. Like it's like back in the day when they used to do that.
Make sure you actually play it.
Yeah. It's a very simple wrestling game because this is back in the day where you had two choices. It was Game Boy or the N64. So this is a 2-button game. It plays a lot like Fire Pro Wrestling in its own way.
Oh, cool.
It's really timing based. It's like, okay, you're gonna push Like B does all of your sort of interactive stuff, and A is your attacks. If you push the 2 buttons at the same time when your name's blinking, it does your special move, and everyone has their own special move. I'm going to ask you to look up a couple of things because I want you to. So this game came out in. Let me double check.
They can climb that pole for like a money bag.
Yes, and there's a casket match in it.
Oh my gosh! Oh, there it is. It's actually kind of cool.
This game's cool. It does stuff because I will show you. This came out in 2000, so I need to see.
Yeah, think about like WWE 2022 and how little and how little it does by comparison. I mean, like it's cool.
I need you to look up Wwf Attitude for the Game Boy Color.
WWF Attitude for Game Boy.
Yeah, which is a game that came out at around the same time. It would have been 1999 when it came out. So these games came out at around similar times. Just to sort of show you where we were in terms of handheld wrestling games. Because it's the same thing here as it was with like Street Fighter. You put Street Fighter on a Game Boy Color and it like fell apart. It almost but they somehow figured out a way to so here's WWF Attitude for the Game Boy Color. It's everyone is just these really compressed JPEGs.
Love it.
Okay, man.
Man, it's bad.
Yeah, and now here's now you compare this to what we were looking at earlier, and it's night and day. Like
it looks really bad.
There's no animation. It's like 2 frames of animation for every move. Everyone looks like an action figure. But
yeah, the only thing that you could theoretically claim as an advantage is the fact that it has actual wrestler names to it.
It's a licensed game with stuff. That's really all it has. But then you go back to Big Bang Pro Wrestling, and it's like it's got smooth animations.
This is so good, but
that was a steel cage match. I know you couldn't tell, but yeah, this game is actually like it feels like a Neo Geo wrestling game. It looks good. And it plays well. Everything, like, look at the animations on this. These came out at the same time. You knocked the referee out. You know, it's none of that stuff was present in a game that came out. As a wrestling fan, this didn't come out in North America. As a wrestling fan, this would have been absolutely incredible. Because the pickings were slim for on the go.
I do like sort of the heaving, that sort of bouncy fighting game aesthetic that they have. It's really neat.
It's a really simple game to understand. You can pick up the sort of language of it real quick. It's not as difficult as Fire Pro Wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling is a very difficult wrestling game to master. It requires a weird bit for as simple as it is and as simple as it looks. It's a pretty hard game to sort of really truly master. This one takes that sort of Fire Pro gameplay and sort of shrinks it down into like a 2-button experience, because there were Fire Pro games on the Game Boy Advance, and the Game Boy Advance Fire Pro game was really, really good, but it came out 4 years after this. So it's wild that to play this game. It's like it's not particularly good now. I don't think so. There's been better wrestling games obviously since when this came out. The N64 wrestling games were already a hit. Like, you already had the 2 WCW games. WrestleMania 2000 was out, and No Mercy was just around the corner. And those are the sort of pinnacle of the franchise. The Switch has some wrestling games. In terms of if you just wanted a wrestling game on the Switch, your choices are the forever broken WWE 2K18.
Choice is not that. Wrestling Empire, I think, is in there.
Wrestling Empire is on there. Arcade Action Wrestling, which used to be the Chikara wrestling game, but now it's that. And this and NES Pro Wrestling. So those are your options. I think this one plays the best out of all the wrestling games on the Switch.
Better than
Which
2K18, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, well, because 2K18 runs at like 15 frames a second.
Sure.
And they are literally never gonna update it.
Yeah,
No.
They gave up on it. Like they pushed out
Yeah.
like one patch that kind of fixed stability. But if you have like a tag team match, it literally runs at 10 frames per second. It's a mess. It's one of the most disgustingly optimized games I'd ever seen. And it's not like they haven't put out the NBA games play pretty great. On the Switch, the NBA 2K games. I like playing the NBA 2K games on the Switch. I think they're really good. So I don't know what happened with that game, but yeah, this game's fun. If you just want a wrestling game, it's inexpensive. It plays well. It looks like wrestling. It feels like wrestling, and it has like 2 really good gimmick matches. Like WWE games haven't had a casket match available in them in decades at this point, like PlayStation 2 era SmackDown games. So I love this game. I don't, it's not for everyone, but if it's, as a wrestling fan, I think you would get a lot of enjoyment out of it. As a fighting game fan, definitely not. It doesn't have that same, and it doesn't have a lot of like iconic stuff for it. Like I can recommend like, the Match of the Millennium or whatever, because it's basically like a cute little King of Fighters game. It plays like a King of Fighters game or whatever. Like this doesn't play like any of that. It's pretty slow, but it's just got enough meat on it that I think anyone that's a wrestling fan could really, really, really enjoy this. But those are the only people that enjoy this, I think. So. Yeah, great out the. I'm glad to be back in the Neo Geo Pocket Color universe. I have no idea what else they're going to bring, but
they have the quality's been pretty high for the games that they've put out.
Yeah,
which is
the Neo Geo Pocket Color didn't have many games, but the ones they did have, there weren't a lot of stinkers.
That's cool.
I would like to see them partner up with Sega and get the Sonic game out, because the Sonic game was actually pretty good. It was just like a weird demake of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But it plays really well.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie. Exactly. It's Jim Carrey's
They demade the current Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie back in 1998, which is just bizarre that they did it 25 years at that. Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
There we go.